What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and the free trading game collection challenge. Now, normally in this series, I like to go out and buy video games, consoles, bundles, etc. and sell part of it on to make the money back, maybe even make a profit, take whatever's left over into CEX, get a voucher, get the games that I want and put them on the shelf. That's how we've managed to accumulate everything here. All this has been accumulated through the series for free, playlist down below. However, thank you to today's sponsor, K4G.com, a digital goods platform for PC and console gaming. So if you're looking for the latest releases, such as Football Manager 2023, they have you covered with huge discounts. Even if you want to pre-order the latest games, from Forspoken to Dead Space, these also have pretty significant discounts. They also have 24/7 support and over 4,000 positive reviews on Trustpilot. They also carry a huge selection of gift cards, so whatever you're looking for, I'm sure there's something for you. If you use the code TVM at checkout, you get yourself a nice 10% discount. All the links are found in the description. The one thing that I never do is I never talk about upcoming games. It's always games that have been out for decades. Mega Drive games, for example, N64, GameCube, PS4. I talk about games that have been out for a long time. We may touch upon the odd new one. Shredder's Revenge, I think, is the newest game that I own, which has been out for quite a few months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at games that are up and coming. I never do this. I didn't have a clue what was close to coming out or what had a 2023 release date. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through, I think, maybe 14 or 16 games that I'm personally looking forward to, having watched about 2 or 3 hours worth of trailers for upcoming games. So I'm going to talk through a few of them very briefly, and I'll show you maybe a half a trailer or something, and then we'll move on to the next one. Next video will be me picking up some stuff and maybe adding something to the collection as well. But for right now, let's have a look at some games coming in 2023. So up first, let me just get I wouldn't say the boring one, because it's actually the one that I'm probably looking forward to most. It is the Resident Evil 4 Remake. Now, I'm starting to go through these. I have the Resi 2 Remake, and of course, we're picking up some of the others. I'm going to make a big push on these Resident Evil games very, very soon, and pick up a fair few and maybe outline my plan on which consoles I plan to get which games. But the remake is definitely going to be on my list. I probably won't get this at launch, actually. Most of the others I probably will, but this I'm not going to, because I'm going to wait for it to come down a little bit and then pick it up with a voucher from CEX. But it looks fantastic, as do the other remakes in the Resident Evil series, so this is definitely on the list. So sticking with the theme of zombies, let's talk about a game called The Day Before. Now, I don't think many people know an awful lot about this. The studio itself has a bit of a trend, apparently, of dropping projects. So I've just written on my notes, studio is sketchy. So whether this will actually come out or not, I don't know. But it looks so good and interesting to me that I kind of felt like I needed to show you. So it looks like a cross between DayZ and maybe The Division in terms of gameplay. There are zombies in it. It's a big open world exploration kind of deal, and I think it's co-op. I'm not sure if you can play it single player, but it looked interesting, and I really hope that they push forward with it, because from what the trailer suggests, this could be a really, really good game. Let's move on to Street Fighter 6. Now, I have the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition. I have, obviously, the Mega Drive games as well. And I'm going to look to pick up the rest of them in the series, because, of course, there are a lot of them. But this looks interesting. There's some sort of single-player mode. I think they call it Story World Tour mode. They have new and returning characters as well. And there is a created character for you to go through that single-player experience with. From what I can see, it looks interesting. It looks a little bit different to your normal Street Fighter game, but at the same time, keeping that sort of authenticity. I don't claim to be an expert on any of these that I'm talking about, by the way. I just picked out the ones that I like the look of, and this was definitely on that list. Something very, very different now. We're going to talk about a game called After Us. I think this was it announced fairly recently, maybe in the Game Awards? It looks fairly similar to a game called Ori, which I've played very briefly, but it just looks really, really interesting. It sort of morphs into different things. Like, you think it's one thing and then it kind of looks like another. And this looks like a type of game that I think would be quite relaxing to play. And the art style is very, very nice. So definitely on the list. One I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to keep an eye out for, because it's not obviously going to be as big as your main AAA titles. But still, it looks very, very interesting, and the trailer definitely does it justice. Let's move on to that game that was playing behind me. Now, it was the second one because I don't actually own the first one. It is Dead Space. I remember back in 2008 when this came out, the original. This is the Dead Space remake. I'm hoping EA are going to do a very good job with this. I don't think anyone's ever said that before and kept a straight face. But apparently they've taken inspiration from Capcom with the Resident Evil remakes. And they said that they're not going to do a one-to-one remake, but they are going to keep it as original as possible, but rework some of the core gameplay systems to make it a little bit more modern, bring it up to speed with what gamers are used to these days. But of course, create a more immersive experience while helping the player. That's what they've said. So hopefully they can do what Capcom have been doing with the Resident Evil games. It looks good from the trailer that we have. Fingers crossed this does come out in 2023 and it's as good as those Resident Evil remakes. So this is going to be one that I'm actually going to probably need to buy an Xbox for because it is an Xbox exclusive. It's called Redfall. This is the same team that brought out Prey 2017, which I've dabbled in a little bit. It's pretty decent, so I'm really looking forward to this, and it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's up my alley. It's an open world FPS, which you fight hordes of vampires, which is different because it's normally hordes of zombies, and we're not done with zombies in this list. But this looks interesting. It is an Xbox exclusive, so I'm kind of hoping it's going to be good enough to maybe not carry the Xbox, but I feel like they need an exclusive, so this could be a good one. Hopefully it doesn't fall flat on its face, but it does mean I'm probably going to need to pick up an Xbox to play it, but from what the trailer looks like anyway, it looks pretty decent. Now let's talk about a game that I'm hoping is going to rekindle my love for this franchise. It is Assassin's Creed Mirage. This apparently is going back to basics. It's not going to be one of those massive open RPG games. In fact, apparently it's not an RPG, and they're going to make it a much smaller game, very much like the original, and they're going back to that sort of combat system, and they're going to make a rich story with a lot of parkour and stealth elements involved in it, and I think it's going to take place before Valhalla. Not that that means much of anything to me, because I still haven't played that game, but I really do want to pick up all of the Assassin's Creed games. I stopped playing them in and around the third game. I've touched upon them here or there, but I've only played the first three extensively, so it'd be really nice to get back into it and maybe catch up before Mirage comes out. But from what the trailer looks like anyway, and every Assassin's Creed trailer looks decent, but this one could hit differently, and fingers crossed it does. So I haven't played Cyberpunk 2077. This could be terrible, but from what I've seen of it, it kind of looks decent. It is Vigilance 2099. It is a cyberpunk-esque bounty hunter game set in an open world, developed on Unreal Engine 5, which is good, but it is done by an indie developer. So I can't imagine it's going to be that in-depth. I'm going to need probably to keep an eye out for this one, because again, you're not going to know about it as it's not going to be as publicized as the Assassin's Creeds or anything. So it is definitely going to be one that you're going to need to keep an eye out for. But from what I can see, a bounty hunter game set in this sort of dystopian cyberpunk type world, I really do like the look of it. I just hope that it's as good as it looks, and I really do need to pick up Cyberpunk. So this next game, I don't actually know a tremendous amount about. I know that it's from the creators of BioShock, and it's an open world, I think, FPS. It's going to be story driven, of course. It's called Judas. I don't know if this is actually going to release in 2023. It probably won't. It'll probably be early 2024. But I put it on the list anyway because it caught my eye. I think they announced it in the Game Awards, I want to say. Might be wrong in saying that. But it looked good from what I could see. It looked a little bit quirky, a bit different, and definitely something that I was interested in, and that is why it's on the list. Now, this next game is definitely something up my alley, and I didn't know there was a first one. So this is actually the sequel, so I'm going to need to play the first one before I even dive into this. This is Hollow Knight, Silksong. Apparently the sequel follows the character from the first game, Hornet. It was originally teased in 2019, apparently, and then it's just gone completely dead until now, where there was a new trailer released, and apparently it's coming out in 2023. But there is the Hollow Knight game on Switch and PlayStation 4. It still holds a little bit of value in CEX, so I'm definitely going to need to look to maybe get some credit to pick that up. And in fact, I think I have the credit to pick that up, so I kind of hope it's in stock in my local CEX. But it looked really, really good. I didn't know anything about it at all, and the sequel looks to be a little bit better from what I'm hearing from people who have played the first one. So fingers crossed, it lives up to how good the trailer looks. Now, this type of game is never really up my alley. It's kind of a Dark Souls inspired type game. It is called The Lords of the Fallen. I will give it a go. It's on Unreal Engine 5. The reason I say that is because there are some amazing things going on with Unreal Engine 5. The capability of that is insane. So this game will likely look fantastic. It looks interesting. The graphics look really, really nice and sharp. The gameplay looks decent. Like I said, it's not normally my type of thing, but it did pique my interest slightly, and that's why it's on the list. Let me know what you think of this one in the comments. So up next is Hogwarts Legacy. This was meant to come out this year. They delayed it. A lot of people would be unhappy about that, and maybe back in the day I would have been like up in arms about it as well. However, when a company delays a game like this, it actually reassures me a little bit that they care enough to say, look, this game isn't ready. We're going to disappoint a few people by saying, look, it's not coming out, but we are working to fix bugs and things that we're not happy with. So games like Cyberpunk and No Man's Sky would have benefited massively from delaying their games. And they didn't. They brought them out, they weren't ready, and they had to try and play catch up. Both of those games have now played catch up to the point where they're actually good games and people are happy with them. However, they'll always have that, it was released too soon, it wasn't ready, when it came out it was a mess. And I'm glad Hogwarts Legacy isn't going down that road, and it has been delayed. I think it's been delayed till February. It's going to give them a few extra months to sit there and really hash out the issues. But it's a AAA title. It takes place before the Harry Potter book, so even though it is in that Harry Potter universe, it's nothing to do with Harry Potter. You create your own character. It's a single-player, open-world experience. It kind of reminds me of Fable 2 in a way, the art style of it at least. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm a huge Universal Studios fan, and I do obviously really like Harry Potter as well, but I love the theme parks and going there and experiencing everything. So walking around in an open-world Harry Potter-inspired game, definitely up my alley, 100% on the list. It's, in fact, if I had to rank the list, it would probably be second on the list. A game that would potentially be maybe fourth or third is Dead Island 2. It's up to 3-player co-op, apparently. 3-player sounds a little bit weird. Maybe 1 with 3, so 4-player co-op, I'm not sure. It's based in LA. It's just a completely change of pace from a game like Dying Light. Even though that game is good, and I'm sure you can have a lot of fun in it, it is co-op as well. Dead Island is just, it's almost like the first-person Dead Rising of zombie games. It's just so over the top, but fun with it as well. Very gory. I wouldn't say it's realistic, but the graphics do look very, very good. I love the first game. I think I own it on, I think I own that and Riptide actually on the 360. But I spent hours on the first game, and I really, really enjoyed that in co-op. I'm not sure I'll be doing this one co-op, but it definitely earns its place on the list, and I will be picking that up day one.
Or whatever it is. You're gonna really feel it. I guess dreams do come true. And shit, man. You'd be amazed at what these Angelinos keep in their Hollywood houses. Katanas, machetes, swords, hammers, bigger hammers. Are those bear claws? And naturally, a holy shit ton of guns.
And that brings me to the final game on the list. Now, this one I wouldn't say I've been looking forward to for a long, long time. I watched the E3 when they announced it. It was literally just a picture at that point. It is Starfield. This is by Bethesda, the same people, of course, who do Elder Scrolls, Skyrim. Of course, that's in the same vein. And then Fallout. I love all those games. I think I finished Skyrim 3 times, playing it like really slowly, going all the way through and playing it before I touched another game. Same with Fallout 3. I remember spending hours and hours and hours doing all the side quests in Fallout 3. New Vegas, the same. Big fan of those games, and this looks like it's going to be of the same quality as those games were. And apparently it is unbelievably dialogue and story driven. I think there was like something like 60,000 lines of dialogue in Skyrim or something. This has over 200,000 lines of dialogue. So it is going to be a huge game with a lot to do and a lot of story to get through as well. I love space. Things, you know, films like Interstellar, Martian, and all them. I'm all over it, love it, and I watch documentaries about it as well. So being able to play a game set in space, made by the same people who do Fallout, is just, if I could create my own game, that would probably be what I would have written down before this was even announced. I am really, really looking forward to this, and the trailer looks incredible. I'm hoping it comes out in 2023. I know it has the likelihood that it will be delayed, but we can only hope. There's no date for it yet as far as I'm aware, and that's going to complete the list.
They be looking for the knockout, and that's what they're both going for here. An upset of the year, perhaps, right before...
And there we have it, just a selection of games I'm looking forward to. There probably are loads more that I will end up picking up or will look forward to. Maybe I haven't even heard of them or seen anything from them. So if you want to let me know, maybe games I haven't included in this video that you think I may like, or maybe that you'll like, and maybe that I can watch a trailer to and then maybe get hyped for. Let me know in the comments section down below. If you have enjoyed this though, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.